How are you?
I'm all right. How's it going?
It's going good.
Good.
Yeah, I don't think he was.
Are you
How are you?
getting excited?
I
Are you?
I can't get it. Yeah.
None of us went.
Um,
Mom at the house. We
should have
yeah.
ended work last Thursday, but
They're going to.
Good evening, and welcome to the March 18th Board of Mayor and Alderman Business Meeting. At this time, I'll call this meeting to order, and we'll be led in pledge by Reverend Scotty Burkhalter, as well as the invocation. Let's all stand.
All right. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please pray with me. Gracious God, we give you thanks for this night, for this opportunity to be together to do the business of our community. We pray you'd bless us with your presence. And just as we witnessed a lunar eclipse this week, we know that your hand is upon us and all that we think, say, and do. So lead, guide, and direct us so that all that we do will be pleasing in your sight. We pray it in the name of your holy name, Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's be seated. Mr. Recorder, would you please take the roll?
Mayor Montgomery,
Here.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Here.
Alderman Baker,
Here.
Alderman Cooper,
here.
Alderman George, Alderman Mays,
Here.
Alderman Phillips.
Here.
Thank you. 6 of 7 members are present, which means we have a quorum. Mr. City Manager.
All right, Mayor, we have no recognitions or presentations tonight, so we'll move into the citizen comment section.
This is a part of our meeting that we set aside for citizens to have public comment. If you would like to come and speak to us, you have 5 minutes, and we ask that whatever you say be non-personal in nature, and that it could be on any item on the agenda or not on the agenda. Seeing no one step forward, thank you very much. Mr. City Manager.
All right, we have no appointments. We'll move into the approval of minutes. First is the called work session on February 17th, 2025, the regular work session on February 17th, 2025, the business meeting on February 18th, 2025, and the called work session on February 28th, 2025. We'd ask that you approve these minutes as submitted.
Thank you. You've seen that we've been very busy in February. We're very busy in February. So do I have a motion for approval of minutes?
I make a motion we approve all sets of minutes.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second. Motion by Alderman Phillips and second by Alderman Baker. All in favor of the minutes being approved, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Minutes are approved. Good City Manager.
All right, we'll move into business matters requiring first reading. First item is consideration of an ordinance to condemn certain public works projects. This has to do with 2 current projects. One is the Reedy Creek Trunk Line Improvement Project, and then also for the Fieldcrest Annexation Sanitary Sewer Project. There is a potential, and been on this board for some time, you've seen similar items come before you, very similar to this, in the event that voluntarily we cannot obtain the necessary property for the extension of these utilities, then we would need to begin the process of condemnation. Again, this is on an as-needed basis. Anything that we would do regarding this matter would need to come back to this board for approval, but this begins to set things in motion should that be necessary. Necessary correspondence, as you see in your action form, have gone out. We have had some contact with some of the property owners, some we're still in conversation with. But again, this is just a tool that we have that in the event we need to use that. I think a question was asked the other day in regards to, is this taking structures, houses, various things like that? The answer to that is no.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to authorize and direct the city attorney to initiate condemnation proceedings to acquire property, real or personal, or any easement, interest, estate, or use therein from affected property owners along the route of certain public works projects, to fix the procedure for directing the initiation of such litigation, to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval, Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion?
Chris, as far as if we end up having to take property, property owners are paid for it, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had somebody ask me that, and I don't think we can just go ahead and take, we don't want to go ahead and take property, but we pay whatever the appraisal price is.
Right, yeah, there's a process you go through, determine that, enter that into court, and then proceed down the path of negotiating on that.
And we can do that when it's life and safety.
We can, I think, what I've always looked at is, does it have a general public purpose? Is it gonna be a park, is it gonna be a road, is it necessary for utilities? Do you need it for a fire station, for example? Those would be the things that we would look at, not for private use.
Right.
It has to be a general public use.
And I know the answer, but we make good faith effort to try to negotiate and all that.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep.
Any other discussion, comment? Seeing none. All in favor of the ordinance, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, like sign. Ordinance passes 6-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to amend the fiscal '25 general purpose school fund and general project fund budget. This is an item coming to us from the Board of Education. As Alderman Baker pointed out to us last night, Action Form 70 supplemental information here provides very detailed explanation of each one of the 3 budgetary items that they are looking at and what they are doing with each one of those. And I told John Morris today I liked it so much, he's going to start doing that for us now. So he was thrilled by that, but it does provide a very good explanation, obviously much more than what you can provide in the executive summary. Any questions? If not, we'd ask you to approve this ordinance on first reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the general purpose school fund budget and the general projects fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Alderman Phillips.
Thank you. Correction.
I'd say we're both for it. It's fine.
I'll second it.
Okay. Thank you. Y'all for cleaning that up. Thank you very much. Any discussion on the ordinance? Seeing none, all in favor of the ordinance, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Ordinance passes 6-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of a budget ordinance for various funds in fiscal '25. As you look through this, there's really probably 3 things that we're focusing on. One is moving some money from Coca-Cola Corporation into the appropriate project. And if you go all the way down to the bottom, you see we're moving some money from a PEP grant that we've received for driver safety. The rest of this is setting up and moving funds in order for us to do a project at the Aquatic Center. This was the replacement of a bridge that exists there, and so this was the necessary process to move all the appropriate dollars around, closing various projects out to be able to put us in that position.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend various fund budgets for the year ending June 30, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval, Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? Seeing none and hearing none. All in favor of the ordinance, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Ordinance passes 6-0. The city manager.
All right, now moving into business matters requiring final adoption. You have 3 items on there. The first item pertains to a consideration of an ordinance to amend the term links for various boards and commissions appointed by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. It's coming to you on second final reading. We'd ask that you approve this ordinance, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to authorize the extension of terms for present members of boards and commissions beyond the length of time established in Section 2-330 in the Code of Ordinances, City of Kingsport, Tennessee, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
So, motion made by Alderman Mays. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion?
Just I just want to say thanks to city staff. I know it could not have been quick to go through all these boards and commissions and clean all this up and go through all this. So thanks for the time and effort on this. And I think this will make us run more smoothly with our appointments. So I appreciate the effort.
I hope doing it this way allows us to get more people to be engaged. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with Alderman Phillips and Baker's comments. And also, I think it's really good that as a city, we have so many people volunteering their time to serve on these committees. And I agree, this is a good process improvement for folks that volunteer their time freely. It gives them better direction, better term limits, and clarity on how to serve. And I think it opens up opportunities for more citizens to serve that want to serve our city. And good job to the city staff, and certainly appreciate all the boards and commissions. They're invaluable to our city, what they contribute. So good job.
Thank you. Any other discussion, comment?
Chris, we're reaching out to all these folks to let them know their terms have been extended,
Absolutely.
communicating that out.
Yeah, yeah. Not only that, we're also advertising the vacancies. In my communications, I'll talk a little bit more about that tonight, too.
Good, good.
Okay. Mr. Porter, would you please take the roll vote?
Alderman Baker,
Aye.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Alderman Duncan,
Aye.
Alderman Mays,
Aye.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passes 6-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of an ordinance to amend zoning of tax map 0290, Group A, Parcel 032, located along Williams Road from the R1B Residential District to R3 Low Density Apartment District. We'd ask that you approve this item on second and final reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to further amend the zoning code text and map to rezone property located along Williams Road from the R1B Residential District to R3 Low Density Apartment District in the 12th Civil District of Sullivan County to fix a penalty for the violation of this ordinance and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Seeing none. Mr. Recorder, please take the roll, please.
Alderman Baker,
Aye.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye.
Alderman Mays,
Aye.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. Ordinance passes 6-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a budget ordinance for various funds on fiscal '25. This has pertained to City of Kingsport operations. We'd ask that you approve this ordinance on second and final reading, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend various fund budgets for the year ending June 30, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the ordinance. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Recorder, please call the roll vote, please.
Alderman Baker,
Aye.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye.
Alderman Mays,
Aye.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye. The ordinance passes 6-0. City Manager.
All right, now moving into other business. Your first item is consideration of a resolution to utilize the Omnia Partners contract for maintenance, repair, and operations, or MRO, supplies, equipment, and related products and services. This comes to us through our fleet maintenance. This is a continuation of an agreement that we've had over the last few years. This is an opportunity for us on an as-needed basis to buy the necessary things within our fleet department. You can see there in 2024, we saw a rebate of just over $3,000. Your approval tonight will move this current agreement through October 31st of 2027. Again, the cooperative agreements such as Omnia have been very beneficial to us, especially post-COVID, and we recommend moving forward with this renewal, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute purchase orders with Lawson Products for various maintenance, repair, and operation supplies and equipment utilizing Omnia Partners Contract Number R240804.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Phillips. That sounds so much alike now. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Mays. Any discussion? Seeing none, this is a voice vote, so all in favor of resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 6-0. City manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution renewing the bid for the purchase of water and wastewater chemicals. You see there in the executive summary, as well as attached in the bid openings, the various companies that bid, those that we have elected to purchase from. You also see the budgetary impact, some with no change, some with adjustments. That has been accounted for now and will be accounted for moving forward in the fiscal '26 budget. So we'd ask that you approve the resolution allowing us to continue to purchase from these companies.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution renewing the award of bid for the purchase of chlorine to JCI Jones, for zinc orthophosphate to Karis Corporation, for coagulant to USALCO, for polymer to Coastal Water Technology LLC, for fluoride to Pinco, and for sodium permanganate to Chemrite Incorporated, and authorizing the city manager to execute purchase orders for the same.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second. Sorry.
Second by Alderman Mays. Any discussion?
Just like to compliment our city attorney for sounding like a chemical engineer, so.
Are these, I know that they, since COVID, since, 2020, they've gone up. Are they slow? Is the increase, it looks maybe slowed down a little bit?
Yeah, it's my understanding from Ryan and Nikki that we have seen kind of a stabilization.
I know
in
they're
that.
still more than what
Yeah.
they were in 2020, but it doesn't seem like they're going up quite as much.
Yeah, fuel costs less too.
Yeah, that's what, maybe it's a little bit of stabilization.
Yeah, we definitely in 2020, we're seeing a tremendous spike in many of those, especially in chlorine, so.
Then, I mean, that hasn't come down at all. It just
Yeah,
just
it is,
level.
the decline's not nearly as steep.
Yeah.
I know we can't forecast what the state legislature is going to do. I don't know if anybody can. But I asked last night about fluoride, and it looks like possibly there may be just a reduction in the standard as far as what the amount of fluoride we put in. I've had some citizens ask, are we going to do away with fluoride, or, but that's what your understanding is?
Yeah, I think you're still seeing several bills that are kind of advancing into committee, coming out of committee, making their way. I definitely cannot predict the future of where that will be. Would be surprised if we might see some consolidation of some of those items.
Okay.
And then a vote on the floor. So, again, unsure what kind of resistance they might meet or what kind of support they might see, but it's definitely moving through. And as we heard, as we sit here today, they'd like to get out in probably 35, 40 days. So we're going to start to see a lot of those items really begin to either get approved and move on out of committee, or we're going to start seeing these things pushed to the next year.
I think regardless of what they do, if they just reduce it, let me back up. If they reduce it, water is still safe.
Yes.
Yeah. I've had some that's asked, with some concern, but like I said, you can't forecast what state if I ever get a crystal ball to say what they'll do, I'll patent that and sell it and retire, so.
Do well with that.
Any other discussion?
Well, I want to add to that, if you look at our water report that's published on the website, the fluoridation level is much less than the recommended amount. So fluoridation in the city water is almost half of what it is recommended. I don't know if, I don't see her. Yeah, Ryan is here, I guess. I'm not inviting Ryan, Mr.
Okay, but he's
Mr.
heading
Mayor.
that way.
Yeah, okay.
We got good water coming in.
We do. Yeah, we do.
Howdy.
So what's
Thank
the
you, thank you,
question?
I was really making a comment.
Oh, okay,
but
I'm sorry, yep.
But if you want to speak to the fluoridation level.
Sure,
According to our
yeah.
test samples that we have for the city.
That's right. So we do test for fluoride, and that is one of the chemicals that's being approved. It was actually voted in by referendum in the 50s. So we continue to do it. If the state legislator was either to remove it or restrict it, we would definitely comply with the new law. But we do have about half of what the EPA would say is the upper control limit. And then we always are hitting about half of that. And it presently is a very small amount, but it is what is recommended through the American Dental Association, American Medical Association, and I'm sure they're the ones in Nashville working with whoever has drafted these bills to try and, tweak them along the way. As far as the utility provider, we add them because of the referendum that was voted upon and the recommendation that was given and still is standing from the Dental Association that it definitely improves the dental health of a community.
Ryan, how often do we test our water?
Every day.
Yeah.
Yes. To go back to your question, I mean, it's amazing to think that we're delivering safe drinking water every day, guaranteed, at the tap. You can use it to mix baby formula and all kinds of different usages. But phenomenal asset the city has. We're blessed where we're located. Very protected source. The different impoundments, the TVA lakes above us, definitely help with the quality of our raw water we bring in. So we're in a great location related to drinking water.
Any other comments, questions? Okay.
Thank you.
All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 6-0. The city manager.
All right, next item is consideration of a resolution to authorize the reimbursement of materials agreement funds to JTB Construction related to the Lebanon Meadows development. See the amount there of $41,854.88. This is 14 new lots that are being built in the Colonial Heights area off of Lebanon Road. See the as-built there describing the number of lots. We'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing the reimbursement, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing reimbursement of materials agreement funds to JTB Construction for Lebanon Meadows Development.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Phillips, or a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 6-0. City manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the purchase of one 24-passenger activity bus from Central States Bus Sales utilizing the Sourcewell contract. This is coming to us from the Board of Education. This is a 24-passenger activity bus that will be used for a variety of functions at Dobbins-Bennett, probably primarily athletics. See the funding source there coming from the activities fund, and this will be an addition to the fleet. Ask that you approve the resolution authorizing the purchase, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order to Central States Bus Sales Incorporated for one 24-passenger bus through Sourcewell Cooperative Purchase Agreement number 063020-BBB.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Second? Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman
Hayes.
Mays. I've got to get these hearing checked. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the resolution say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 6-0.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order for Kingsport City Schools Grade 7 through 9 Chromebooks and Chrome license from Dell Marketing LP. This is a regular item on our agenda throughout the year. Total cost of this is just under $400,000 coming from the Kingsport City Schools General Purpose Fund budget. We'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing this purchase, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order to Dell Marketing LP for 1,300 Dell Chromebooks and Google Chrome licenses for Kingsport City Schools grades 7 through 9.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So move.
Motion for approval by Alderman Mays, or second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 6-0. City manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing signature of work estimate Sullivan County Highway Department to resurface a portion of Cox Hollow Road. This is an item that ever so often appears on your agenda for approval when Sullivan County is in the process of paving a road. That road traverses inside and outside of our city limits. We typically work with them to have them pave the entire section, and then we pay for the section that is inside the city of Kingsport. You can see here on this map, very good illustration of those areas that will be paved that are inside the city, as well as the areas that are outside the city that the county will be working on. Appreciate the good working relationship that Tim Elsey, our Assistant Public Works Director, has been able to work with the county so that when we see items like this, we can address it. Very easy for the citizens to understand and to see the whole road paved versus just sections of it. So appreciate that. You see the funding come in where it's identified and the cost of almost $57,000. Mayor would ask that you approve the resolution authorizing us to move forward with this agreement.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving a work estimate from the Sullivan County Highway Department for resurfacing portions of Cox Hollow Road and authorizing the mayor to execute the work estimate and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of this resolution.
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So move.
Motion for approval, Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion?
Chris, I noticed that, I'm sorry. Somebody else gonna say something?
Well, it was, I mean,
Vice
we just
Mayor.
got different places throughout the city. This kind of happens. It seems like it comes to this board, you know, every few years. We have some spot places that this happens to.
Chris, I was gonna ask, a striping replacement is 7,600 feet. I assume that's how long that the paving is that we're having done.
I would suspect, yes.
Yeah, and I mean, it's $56,000. You know, that's just resurfacing alone. I mean, the cost of paving has gone up.
I believe the $56,000 is the cost of the asphalt.
Yeah, so the way our agreements work, it's much easier for us just to agree to the material instead of trying to figure out when do they
No.
start. So it's just the material for that section. So it's a really good deal when we come upon these. It's
I guess
fabulous.
my point is, you may not know this right offhand, cost of asphalt has gone up significantly since COVID. You know, this is 7,600 feet at $56,000. I think that's something citizens, you know, when I talk to them, you know, they talk about, well, why don't we just get more miles paved? And it's a cost issue. The majority of it is.
Oh, yes, it's definitely, and
that's just
the board
resurfacing.
is, you know, the board, and we're working on some solutions to keep the pace of paving
Right.
continuing to go forward. But you're exactly right. The cost has increased significantly over the past 10 years, and especially since COVID. Yes, sir.
And this is just resurfacing. If you've got to stop and repair any of the road under
Yes,
the
sir.
paving, that cost is going to go up.
Yes, sir.
So any idea what it costs to pave, if we go in, and I know it depends on the amount of work that we have to do, what it costs to pave a mile of road?
I can get that to you at the
Yeah.
next work session.
It'd
based
be interesting
upon
to
our
see how
last
that's
bid.
gone up in the last 5 years.
Yes, sir.
Any other?
I think it's, I think it's worth pointing out, though, that this is a good deal for the city. It works out well, which in turn works out for the citizens, especially along that road. But it's also a sign of working well with the Sullivan County Highway Commissioner and the Highway Department and the communication, because it saves the citizens money in both directions, on the county side and the city side. So I commend the Highway Department and the city staff for working together and making things happen. It's good.
As Chris mentioned, Tim Elsey is the one that helps put this together, and the Sullivan County Highway Department, we couldn't say enough good things about with the partnership that we've had. And the citizen doesn't know the difference, they just want the whole road paved.
Exactly.
Any other comments, questions? Okay. All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 6-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to ratify the mayor's signature to receive reimbursement funds from Mission 484, Hurricane Helene Disaster Response, as part of the Tennessee statewide mutual aid agreement. This is coming to us from Washington County, Tennessee. This is the work that was conducted by the Kingsport Fire Department during Helene. As you know, we had a pretty significant presence within Washington County. A lot of work was based out of that area. Our chief was there. Numerous members of our fire department were there for an extended period of time. Received tremendous amount of praise from the mayor of Washington County for the work that the fire department did. Likewise, we were also in Unicoi County. At some point, we'll see those dollars pass through there. Appreciate Washington County advancing this and moving forward. The amount, $43,306.82, represents the amount submitted in the standardized paperwork that we'd submit in a mutual aid type agreement. So with that, Mayor, would ask that you approve the resolution authorizing the ratification of the signature to receive the funds.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution ratifying the mayor's signature on a Tennessee Emergency Management Cost Estimate Form in relation to the Kingsport Fire Department's response to Hurricane Helene, and authorizing the mayor to execute all of the documents necessary and proper to obtain reimbursement for aid provided during Hurricane Helene.
Thank you. You've heard reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Phillips. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion?
Chris, this is not this, but are we still receiving debris from Unicoi County at the landfill?
That has not started yet.
Okay. When will that start?
We are still working on the contract.
Okay. Still moving forward with doing that, though.
I know
We hope so.
we go to, people, we went to the Gatlinburg Fires. Are we always reimbursed? Is that a given, or is it just if they get money, federal money?
Yeah, I mean, we typically will submit reimbursement on that, and sometimes it comes in, this is fairly quick. Come on up, Chief Boyd. Other times, like in Gatlinburg, I think that's taken a little bit longer.
Took about 2 years for us to see something back from Gatlinburg. Yeah, this particular one is from Washington County. I think they're going to try to fast track this thing. Just as a side note to it, in January you did Unicoi County, and with that, it's about $95,000 hopefully coming back to the city of Kingsport through payroll as well as equipment that goes with it. The other side of it, though, to keep in mind too, is being good neighbors with that. Those counties and the destruction that went with it. We also provided roughly about $10,000 worth of in-kind service, so they can take that off their total bill for what will cost those particular counties. So it's being a good neighbor to help them out as well.
And we anticipate Unicoi County will need to wait until the federal funding comes in to provide our reimbursement there.
It does, and it comes in 3 sections: federal, state, and then the county they're on the hook for a portion of it as well.
I know it may be a time thing. Are we typically reimbursed 100% of costs? I would assume that we're not.
No. I mean, there are certain areas, and Chief Boyd alluded to that we would consider in kind. And we also see that when it's on our side as well. There's certain, typically on administrative aspects of it, those things would be considered in kind, and reimbursing more for the labor in the field that's overtime, the equipment, the usage of that equipment, fuel.
I wouldn't have expected 100%. I'm just thankful we can do it, and I'm thankful when it's reciprocated on us, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, it's based on a fee schedule.
Yep.
That FEMA has put together, so it's basically universal, what they reimburse back, depending on the man-hours type of training. It's very in-depth what you have to fill out, so.
Yeah, just
but-
put it in scope as far as the man hours, it's roughly about 2,100 hours was provided to those counties.
Plus, if you hear at the recognition ceremony we was at, a couple of weeks ago, I mean, it's bone chilling to hear that report being read.
Yeah.
What they experienced.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
And
all
it
of
was very much appreciated, as City Manager mentioned, from the counties.
And the dog. Save the dog.
Yeah,
And the cats.
great story. Any other comment? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution's adopted, 6-0. The city manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to authorize the mayor to execute all documents necessary to apply for and receive a Land Water Conservation Fund grant through the Office of Outdoor Recreation. Last night, you heard a presentation on this from Tyler Wicks and Kitty Frazier. It's a very exciting grant opportunity. We have been invited to apply. You see the multiple areas that we are looking to allocate funding towards should we be successful in the receipt of this grant. We found that through the last grant, the LPRF grant that we received back in the fall, when we were able to look at a variety of areas for these funds to be used, that seemed to really resonate with the office reviewing and awarding. So that same philosophy has been provided here. To hit some of these, being able to provide funding to do artificial turf infields for Brickyard Park. That has been an item we have talked about extensively, recognize the need for it, especially as we are entering this baseball season and trying to battle Mother Nature. Continuing to add to the Miracle Field complex with a pedal park and a multi-purpose play area, as well as necessary plaza for that. The lighting that would go with that, and then looking at Bays Mountain with continuing to update our habitats there and continue to provide other necessary amenities for our trails and the nature center. Again, this is a $6.5 million grant. We have a 50% match that we're responsible for. As I discussed last night, this item, along with several other items over the next several weeks on your work sessions, will be kind of leading up to the budget where we will allocate these funds as part of our capital budget going into next year. And again, this action tonight, though, simply authorizes us to proceed with the submission.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to apply for and receive a Land Water Conservation Fund grant through the Office of Outdoor Recreation.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion?
I'll
appreciate-
go ahead. Go ahead, Darryl.
We appreciate the update we had last night. It was very informative, so we appreciate it.
Yep, and I'll just add to that, like, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I just really, what an effort that staff has made over the last 2 years, at least. I mean, more, but really over the 2 years, specifically at Bays Mountain, we're going after tens of millions of dollars in grants that are going to be sunk into the city that are just they're life-changing and they're game-changing for our city. And I know the one for the beaver habitat, the otter habitat, the otter, we're getting beavers too and red pandas, I guess.
That's next.
Yeah, but the otter habitat, I can't remember how many millions it was, but then you throw in this 6.5, we're talking major dollars here, and grant funding that's gonna help almost pay for the pedestrian bridge going down here. That is significant money that staff has just, worked extremely hard to get, that I don't know that other communities have that luxury. So I think it's very helpful to us.
It was about 20 million last year, is that correct?
Yeah, a little over 20 million in calendar '24 that came in, and you look at those dollars, and you look over the last several years, federal dollars that have come in, grants or ARC money, whatever it may have been, that's been huge in terms of being able to supplement capital aspects of our budget that, quite honestly, they probably wouldn't have occurred or been in the process to occur in the timeline that we're in. But yeah, very much appreciate that. Mayor Michael Borders wore a tie tonight. If we could get him up to the podium just so the camera could catch him.
Please ask the question.
Michael and his team have done an outstanding job of going after these grants, securing these grants, having plans that support the grants and, these master plans that we have. This is where the work that we've put into that is paying off because we're able to demonstrate that this is part of a master plan for us to do this work. So appreciate the work he and his team's done. Very much appreciate it.
I was gonna add that because you gotta have good projects to get grants. And to have those good projects, you gotta have good planning. This has been a few years in the making, and these items are all part of strategic plan somewhere of something that's not just a one-off project. I think that's important to understand.
Yep, good point.
You look good tonight, Michael.
Well, I would, since Michael is almost to the podium, I know we had discussion last night about Domtar as well, and the importance of all the ball fields in the city and what they do for AAU tournaments and city recreation. And so there was a reason that was given why Domtar is not included in this grant opportunity. If, for the record, I think it'd be good if you can repeat some of that discussion last night.
Absolutely. So we did a in-depth analysis of really all of our projects anytime we go forward with a grant application, but the conversation between why Brickyard versus Domtar is really multifaceted. But even just looking at the data, the number of renters, so Brickyard has double the number of renters that Domtar has. You look at the field conditions, so in baseball and softball, there's certain base lengths and fence lengths of the field that you have to have for certain age groups, and Brickyard's much more accommodating. There's also Brickyard, we do struggle a little more with the drainage on the infield, so there's really a lot of multifaceted reasons that went into that, but I think the key takeaway for the board and citizens is that when we make these recommendations on grants, we have a lot of supporting documentation behind why we're making the recommendation, and I appreciate the board's support on it.
Thank you. Any comments?
It looks good.
Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 6-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to accept the transfer of all property, leasehold improvements, and lease assignments at 117 West Sevier Avenue, known as the Kingsport Dental Clinic, from the Industrial Development Board of the City of Kingsport. As we continue to march down this path, we have mapped out to see a full-blown dental school in Kingsport. We are now the proud owners of the building that for the last couple of years we have leased. Very grateful to Governor Lee's office providing the funding a year ago to allow us to move forward with the purchase of this, as well as funding for additional improvements. Here in a few weeks, we will begin the master planning for the full facility alongside Northeast State, ETSU, and UT Health Science Center, along with several key partners. Very exciting. Every time we have an opportunity to bring this item before you all, I pause for just a second to make sure you all fully appreciate everything that has gone in to this point, and the fact that we have something that is extremely unique in the state of Tennessee and on the verge of having quite possibly one of the most unique facilities in all the Southeast. I would be remiss, Mayor, if I didn't take an opportunity to thank KEDB, especially Elaine Bodenweiser, Craig Dennison, and Joel Conkin. They did lion's share of work on this project to get us to this point to be able to acquire it. And so we're very, very appreciative of that partnership we have. So with that, Mayor, I'd ask that you approve the resolution accepting the transfer of the property.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution accepting the donation of real and personal property at 117 West Sevier Avenue from the Industrial Development Board of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, accepting the leasehold improvements and lease assignments and authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of this resolution.
You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Baker. As I opened it up for discussion, I want to say, yes, it's not, we shouldn't miss this moment because this is the first step toward a significant event that will happen years down the road of us getting a full-fledged dental school here in Kingsport. So we shouldn't miss that opportunity. I had the opportunity last week, I was in the presence of the governor to again thank him for his giving, authorizing $6.5 million for Kingsport. That was significant because we didn't make the original cut, but we got in a supplemental, so that was great. Any other discussion now? Open it up.
Very appreciative.
Okay. All right, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 6-0.
Next item is consideration of resolution authorizing an agreement with Paymentus Corporation for electronic bill payment services. Paymentus is a company that we will be moving away from Paya, moving to Paymentus. This is part of our new customer information system. You see what that supports there within the action form, credit, debit cards, bank transfers, and e-checks, along with enhanced flexibility for our customers. I think it's probably one of the things we've talked about the most with the new CIS is just the modernization of payments, and this allows us to move forward with that. Again, this is coming to you for approval, and it sets everything up for this to be part of the new CIS. One other note, you see the cost there, and that is in line with costs that we've anticipated for this moving forward. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving an agreement with Paymentus Corporation for electronic bill payment services and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement in this resolution.
Thank you. You've heard reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion?
Is there a percentage they're going to charge us per transaction? I know there is.
Travis?
$2.25 per transaction.
Pardon, say it again?
$2.25 per transaction,
Per transaction.
per credit card transaction,
What about for checks?
20 cents.
Okay.
Any other comment? Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passes 6-0. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution authorizing an agreement with Fifth Asset, Inc., doing business as Debt Book. This is an item we talked about some yesterday during our work session. You see there within the executive summary, greater transparency, simplified debt management tasks, reduce administrative burden, help the city improve efficiency and reduce financial risk. Appreciate the work Travis has done on this. We continue to look at various means of technology to create internal efficiencies, to be able to also at the same time spread the knowledge of the operations out within the respective departments. This is an avenue for that. We would appreciate you all approving the resolution on allowing us to move forward with the acquisition of this.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving an agreement with Fifth Asset Incorporated for cloud-based debt management software pursuant to Omnia Contract Number 14-03 and authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement for the same and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement and this resolution.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. For a second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion or comment? Seeing none, all in favor of the resolution say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 6-0. Ms. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing an economic development contribution to the Industrial Development Board of Kingsport and authorizing one or more agreements pertaining to the same. If you go back to February 2020, conversation with the board during a budget planning session, we talked about the desire to begin aggressively going after and recruiting businesses to come into some of our legacy power centers. Kingsport Pavilion was one of those that was advertised. We began conversations with the then current owner. That then translated into conversations with a new owner and a desire that you all continue to reinforce each year, which was how do we make this center viable again? About this time last year, we brought to you all a proposal where we could be a partner, very much like we were a partner on day one in both the city and the county. made an investment into that site that then brought us Target and that shopping center that is very much considered the anchor for that entire strip. But this was an opportunity that would allow us to aggressively move forward with the filling of numerous vacancies, working with the owner, looking at the leakage that we had into other markets that had a negative drain on our sales tax revenues. And so we agreed unanimously then to move forward with that. Fast forward to where we are now, we're looking at a center that is over 95% occupied. I can tell you that it has never been 95% occupied. And so this is very much what we would consider to be a very, very healthy investment that the city has made to increase occupancy, bring new tenants to that site, take tenants that were looking to make an upgrade, if you will, to maybe where they are now into a facility that would allow them to expand. This has allowed us to do that. Again, your Economic Development Board has been an integral piece in this from day one. Stephen Bauer, our Economic Development Director, has walked through this, literally every suite in there with the company, with our agencies such as Buxton and Retail Coach to make sure that we had the right fit. So I appreciate your all's willingness over 5 years ago to do this, your willingness a year ago to vote unanimously to move forward with this, KDB's work to make this happen, the developers' efforts to bring these stores in. Your approval tonight will allow for us to be able to provide funding in 10 equal payments to pay the debt if we don't pay it off early to the Economic Development Board, who has secured a loan with Bank of Tennessee, the 10-year term for the 4.73 interest rate. Revenue generated for this will be increased sales tax and property tax revenue. As I have told you all many times, when you see an economic development project like this, it is rarely ever contained within the site. It somewhat has a ripple effect, and we see other areas have a success from this. And so this will be a positive for our city, our residents and visitors alike. So, Mayor, with that, ask you to move forward with approval of the resolution, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving a financial contribution to the Industrial Development Board of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee for economic or industrial development purposes relative to the Kingsport Pavilion redevelopment and improvements, authorizing the mayor to execute such agreements as may be needed to effectuate the purpose of this resolution, expressing the intent of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen to establish one or more project accounts and an ordinance appropriating funds to effectuate the purpose of this resolution if needed and to fix the effective date of this resolution.
Thank you. You've heard a reading of the resolution. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion for approval by Alderman Baker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Duncan. Any discussion?
My office is up in that area. That is becoming a more busy section of Kingsport from a traffic standpoint. A lot of economic activity happening. And, yeah, it's good to see that area built back up again after some businesses left. So kudos to the folks that worked on that.
Yep, agree. Thank you.
Any other comment or discussion? If not, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Resolution passes 6-0. City Manager.
All right, now move into the consent agenda. You have 8 items on the agenda. I will read through these. If you'd like anyone pulled for additional discussion, be glad to do so. The first item is consideration of a resolution to authorize the mayor to sign all documents necessary to apply for and receive a law enforcement agency highway safety grant from the Tennessee Highway Safety Office for fiscal '26. Second item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a signature authority form allowing the chief of police or his designee to complete grant reports as required by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office for the Tennessee Highway Safety Office fiscal '26 grant, enforcement of Tennessee driving under the influence laws. Third item is consideration of a resolution to authorize the mayor to sign all documents necessary to apply for and receive the fiscal '26 Tennessee Highway Safety Office Network Coordinator Grant. Fourth item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a signature authority form allowing the chief of police or his designee to complete grant reports as required by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office for the Tennessee Highway Safety Office's fiscal '26 grant. Item 5 is consideration of resolution authorizing a change order to the contract with Vanderpool Roofing LLC for the Hunter Wright Stadium roof repair project and to authorize the mayor to sign all applicable documents. Item 6 is consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor to sign the host facility agreement for the 16th annual World's Largest Swim Lesson. Item 7 is consideration of resolution to apply for and receive a statewide agricultural farmers market grant. Item 8 is consideration of a resolution to renew the Model City Makerspace lease for property located at 118 Shelby Street. Mayor?
Thank you. You've heard the reading of the consent agenda items. I have a motion for approval.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept all items on the consent agenda as presented.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Mr. Recorder, please call the roll.
Alderman Baker,
Aye to all items.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye to all.
Vice Mayor Duncan,
Aye to all.
Alderman Mays,
Aye to all items.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye to all.
Mayor Montgomery.
Aye to all. The consent agenda items are all passed, 6-0. City Manager.
All right, move into communications. First thing is we discussed earlier in the agenda, the adjustments to our boards and commissions, but we're also now looking at filling several of these. And so if you have a desire to serve on the Kingsport Higher Education Commission, the Neighborhood Advisory Commission, the Kingsport Housing and Redevelopment Authority, or the Board of Zoning Appeals, it's your opportunity. So go to servekingsport.com. Again, that's servekingsport.com. You fill out the application. That'll be sent to the appropriate staff. We'll have an opportunity to review that with the board, and then as we move forward with a future meeting, we'll be able to make those appointments. This is something that we'll also be promoting across our social media channels. So we encourage folks who have an interest in serving. In the past, you might fill this out. You could wait months before you heard anything, if you heard anything at all. Now this allows folks to know exactly what they're going after and gives you an idea as to when this will be heard, and this would definitely be heard as we move into next month. Other point I want to make is in tomorrow's Kingsport Times News is the Progress Edition, and I want to take a minute to really thank Adrienne and her team. When you step back and you flip through this document and you look at what we as a city have been able to accomplish over the last year, it's quite impressive. And as I was reviewing the work that they had put together, it often, as it really does every year, there's things that I forgot about. There's things that were really significant to Kingsport that we're able to highlight, and it just further demonstrates that we are a city that has a lot going on. We're making a lot of strategic investments. We're seeing the private sector make those strategic investments as well. And so this is a great opportunity to get caught up on all those different things. A copy of that will also be posted on our website as well, but definitely run out tomorrow and get a paper so you can look at that. As has been the case for the last several months, I'd like to step back from each one of these meetings and kind of evaluate some of the things that we got to do tonight. So we, as the mayor discussed, and as I mentioned, the purchase of 117 West Sevier, that's a major step forward for our dental clinic and the future dental school and the unique partnership that we have there. The invitation and another great opportunity to turn $3.5 million, $3.2 million into $6.5 million with the OREC grant going in over at Brickyard, Miracle Field, as well as at Bays Mountain. Another great opportunity that we got invited to, and the hopes that we may be able to see this. And then obviously following through on the board's desire from 5 years ago. Sometimes it takes things longer than we anticipate, but the investments in Kingsport Pavilion have definitely paid off. It's also set the stage for further redevelopment or new greenfield development within that East Stone Drive corridor. So, a lot of things on the agenda tonight, a lot of them very, very important. Again, as I mentioned many times, these are items that I think a lot of cities would love to have the opportunity to do. You did 3 of those in one sitting. Mayor?
Thank you, sir. Alderman Mays.
Thank you, Mayor. Couple of things. One is, I think, to, I guess, go along with City Manager McCart is expressing, I think our city is making a lot of moves, and I think this board in previous sessions and past boards have really made good decisions in that regard, and I think those decisions are paying off. I think tonight is a good example. The Parks Grant that we just approved tonight is an amazing grant, an opportunity to really do some heavy lifting and improvement for our parks and recreation. Also, I think it needs to be said about the airport, which is an issue ongoing in this region, but the city of Kingsport stepped up and did what was asked of the city to help our airport be successful. And we hope that that is successful, and we're working with other regional governments that are doing likewise. And I think we need to understand that this board and city staff is very aggressive in working toward improving economic development and improving value-added services for our city. And I just appreciate Chris McCart's comments. I appreciate all the work that's going on. We're going into a difficult budget year. It seems to be shaping up to be a very difficult budget year. We're not there in the details yet, but I just really hope that we receive a lot of community feedback and a lot of community input. The community survey I thought was invaluable for giving us feedback, and so excited about the opportunities and what we're doing moving forward. Thank you.
Alderman Cooper.
I went to a DKA, Downtown Kingsport Association meeting this morning, and there were some wonderful things happening in our downtown. If you haven't been to the Uptown Cheesesteak restaurant, the new restaurant, you need to go there. That's probably the best cheesesteak I've ever eaten. Also, Old Crow Tavern opened in our downtown. Galaxy Pizza, and I went there this past weekend with 5 of my grandchildren. So it was a very exciting place. It's you spend a lot more back in the arcade than you do for your food. So, but it was they had the best time. Also, there's a new hot dog Wagyu hot dog just right across the street. They have, I heard, and I haven't known for sure, but they have a hot dog that if you give them 3 days advance, they will make it. It's $150. So it's made with caviar and all kinds of stuff. So I looked at their menu. There's a lot of different toppings for hot dogs that they have. So you need to go experience that. Also, the hot dog hut was also bought by a young family that, and they're going to have a grand opening for that April the 3rd. The Shop and Hop downtown is April 3rd also with the Easter egg giveaway. And also the Loft Tour is April the 12th. We have a lot of residents in our downtown, and we're getting more and more people that are turning some of the old buildings into lofts or residents. So there's a loft tour. I think there's 5 or 6.
I think it's 7.
7 on the tour this year. I have it right here, the tour this year. And so one of them is the telephone building. And when they were describing the switchboard lounge downstairs, it's not open quite yet for the public, but you can go down there. The Wallace's News Building lofts. So there's several lofts. I think it's $25. I think that's what it was for a ticket to go get to all the lofts. And a lot of the businesses are going to have specials that day too that go along with the tour. So you need to check the Downtown Kingsport Association Facebook page and see all kinds of different opportunities. One thing I want to mention that is that there's going to be go to Facebook and look at Expedition Untamed. There's going to be a animal habitat in one of our downtown businesses where the Emporium is on Broad Street. Creation Kingdom Zoo, that burned this past year and flooded. They loaned or leased some of their larger animals to other zoos, but we're trying to find a place that they could bring and still have a place where people could come enjoy some of the smaller animals, and they chose downtown Kingsport. And I went there today because I've talked about it. I've talked to Chris and different people about it, and I had never seen it. So I went in there today to look, and they've already started the construction. They're going to turn it into like a rainforest. It's going to be on 2 floors, and I know there's going to be sloths because I saw that on their Facebook, and monkeys and different animals downtown. They're also going to do a lot of education for children. They go to the Lamplight Theater and actually, do some school groups can come and look at that. So, like I said, I went there today, and there's all kinds of greenery and stuff that's already taken place. It's already kind of transforming. So, be sure to look at that. I think they're going to try to open it, in the next month or two. So, it should be an exciting, different experience for our downtown. I guess that's. Did I say the third is the Shop and Hop? Yes, I think I did, because it's the Easter egg giveaway. So.
Thank you. Alderman Baker.
Mayor, I'd like to congratulate one of our colleagues, Alderman Mays. He's the director of the Sullivan County Regional Health Department, and they was recently nationally recognized for their excellence in emergency preparedness through the Project Public Health Ready program. I think about that, that doesn't just happen. That's an intentional effort by that department. And I think about our water when we turn the faucet on. I think about our police department, fire department. We are fortunate in our area to have those resources. You hope you never have to use them on a massive scale, but to know that we're accredited, to know, Gary, your department's things of that nature, and we've received awards for the water department. I think that's really good. With what happened with Hurricane Helene, you hope that never happens again. With the disaster that happened in Buchanan County and that area, the flooding, we seem to be spared, but it's comforting to know that organizations are focused on that from an emergency standpoint, that if something does happen, we're ready to go. So congratulations, Gary.
Thank you. I thank you for that. It's very kind, and I would actually have to pass that along to my team. They're the ones doing the hard work, and but I appreciate the comments. I will share that with my folks. Thank you.
That's it. Okay, Alderman Phillips.
Not much, just want to, hopefully everybody saw the announcement today for Red, White, and Boom downtown. So July 5th, Night Ranger and Sister Christian will be there, I've heard. But it's a Night Ranger joke for those of you that don't know 80s rock. But I just excited about that event. I just really appreciate, I feel like in the last 5 years or so, the city has really made an effort, and it's not just the city, it's mostly, and a lot of its partners are doing this, but I hope the board is kind of a driving factor in reinvesting in our quality of life. And I don't just mean the pump track and the skate park like I was at on Sunday, which are awesome, but I mean things like Red, White, and Boom, and things like Christmas in Kingsport that you have and you go to and you literally hear 0 negative comments. People are so happy with what's going on and so happy that this is in their city. And so I'm just excited about another great July 4th event and on July 5th. So, I do believe it's the biggest July 4th celebration east of Knoxville, and I do love that it's here. And I also want to mention that while I was over at the pump track and skate park on Sunday with my daughter, as I was leaving, I stopped and took a look, and Brickyard Park, the Brickyard Development, is coming along very nicely. They had a bunch of sewer lines stubbed out and a lot of pads that were getting ready to go in, so that development's coming along good, and I was very excited to see that. So I stopped and took some pictures, but that's it.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
Just a few items and a couple of comments. The mayor's the only one that can afford a $150 hot dog. But the farmer's market opens Saturday, April 26th, so I always say come out and meet your neighbors, and that's always a good day. And then a few other dates. Right now, Green and Growing seminars are going through KKB, and that's happening on Fridays at noon. And they've got 2 of those left, and so they have master gardeners teaching those, so that's always a good time. They usually last about an hour, a little over an hour, and so you have time to get back to work. First cleanup through KKB is on the 12th, and that'll be at Lee Garden, and we'll be about 10 and about 12. Usually have a really good turnout for that, so hope people can come out and join us on that one. And then we have a ribbon cutting out here for the new church circle, improved anyway, and so it'll actually be in this parking lot. That's on April 17th. That'll be at noon as well. And then finally, Visit Kingsport has AAU wrestlers in here this weekend. And that's always a great event, and it's good for Visit Kingsport. This is an outstanding event that's been going on for a number of years. And so we'll have 400 wrestlers, and they come from all ages, from about 6 years old, at least up to maybe 14. And then from 10 different states will be in here for that, and that's at the TAC. And that really starts Friday night, but it'll run through Saturday. So that wrestling community is, they really get into it, if you've never have seen that. So with that said, I appreciate it, Mayor. Back to you.
Thank you, and thank you, Reverend Burkholder, for being here tonight and giving us an invitation. Thank those of you who stayed with us during this meeting, and this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Mayor. Now let's go get a hot dog.
You gotta-